Guys, it's Lisa, and I'm here with a video, obviously. I'm either a day late or maybe a week early. I don't know. I guess I can't keep on any schedule, and I think I mentioned this last week. Kind of just whenever I feel like doing a video, I'm going to try to do them. So, today is Tuesday, February 24th. I think it's February 24th. I'm actually outside, and I'm a different location than the past, I think, couple of weeks because I'm in our campground instead of at my friend's. So it's actually a little cool today. I'm wearing my hitchhiker, which I'm excited about. I like it when I get to wear my stuff. But it's not too cold that I can't sit outside, so I guess that's a good thing. And I am glancing down because, you know, I write some notes, so I'm going to try to remember everything. I guess I want to just basically say the usual. I'm YarnYanta247 here on YouTube and on Instagram, and YarnYanta1 on Ravelry. Before I get started, I want to welcome back all my previous subscribers, and welcome back. I'm glad you're here again, and welcome to all the new ones, and welcome, and I hope you enjoy and find something to, you know, interest you. And I'm going to have to say the sun is going in and out, and I don't know how this is going to go. So I'm going to do some shout outs, and I guess because of the whole lighting thing, I'm going to start. My first shout out is for Pam, Yarny Nana. I watched her video, I think it was yesterday, and I'll tell you what, she really hit home because she spent a good deal of the time, or part of the time, talking about keeping it real, is what she said, and getting all, you know, caught up in the lighting and all that stuff. And I have to say, I've been there, and I do that sometimes, and sometimes it'll be like, I don't know, a long time just to get ready to figure out where to put my camera and what to do. And she really reminded me that that's not why I do the videos. I do the videos because I like to talk about my stuff. I don't have a lot of people in real life here with me who get it, who appreciate it, and so sometimes it's just nice to have some place to spout and just kind of chat. And so that's what I'm doing, and I've met some really great people through this. I love watching their videos, and it's thrilling to me that you guys are watching my videos. You never know, I'm traveling, so maybe, you know, some of us may meet in real life someday, who knows. But in the meantime, it's really nice to have this kind of interaction. And she just reminded me that that's why I started doing these videos, was to kind of chit-chat and have a good time. I do this on my phone. I do not have a, you know, whatever camera. I don't have any kind of editing. I don't have even access to a computer on a regular basis. So I guess what you see is what you get. And I know sometimes it's not going to be all that great. Like now, I can see the sun sort of going in and out, and there may be shadows. There's probably glare on my glasses, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep chatting, and I hope you keep watching. So thanks, Pam. And you should check her out. She's Yarny Nana. And she does great videos, and she's from Massachusetts, and I lived in Boston for a couple of years after while I was in grad school, and I loved it there. So I know the weather's been crappy, and I'm sorry for that, but it's still a great place to live. The other two shout outs I want to give are actually a brother and sister who both have YouTube channels. One is Amy, and she's Amy's Wool Word of Creations. Hi, Amy. I just want to say thanks because she's given me a shout out, and she has been saying some very sweet things, and I check Instagram. It's usually the first thing I do in the morning. I'm addicted, and I love interacting with everybody on Instagram. And the other morning she had just made a really sweet comment to me, and it just made my whole day. So thanks, Amy. You guys should check her out. And she has her brother Barry, who it's Barry Gibson, and it's Barry Gibson. I think it's 165 on Instagram. And she's Green Feather with numbers. I'm sorry, I'll try to remember to put it in the description box if I can remember. And they're both from Ireland, and they're lovely, lovely people. And hi, Barry, and he gave me a shout out too, and I meant to mention it the last time and I forgot. And you should check them out, and I've been enjoying interacting with them and watching their videos, and, you know, following on Instagram. So those are my three shout outs for today. There's others, and I may try to do this periodically because it's nice. I appreciate so much when people mention me in their videos, so I'm going to try to do that too. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and somebody's passing by, so it's going to get a little noisy because I am outside. One of the things that I've been talking about is a memory square sock blanket, and a couple of people have commented like they weren't really sure what that was and all of that. So I'm sure some of you out there know about the whole sock yarn blanket. Granny square, some people are knitting miter square, crochet granny squares or knitted mitered square blankets. So that's what I'm talking about. But when I talk about it as a memory blanket, that's sort of what I'm going to be doing. So those of you who have followed me a little bit know that I'm full-time RVing, and we have been traveling. We started in June. So I wanted to have a way sort of to remember our adventure. Don't know how long we're going to be doing this, don't know exactly where we're going to be going the whole time. And being a person who loves yarn and loves to knit and crochet, I thought I would try to get somehow involved with that as part of my memories of my travels. So what I came up with was I'm planning on doing, I'm doing the crochet granny square one. I may do a mitered square, I'm not sure. I haven't tried that square yet, but I crochet and I enjoy it, and so I like to have a crochet project going. And the way I'm going to do this is, okay, there's going to be kind of three ways that this is going to happen. I'm going to be using, if I can, local fiber, and I'm going to try to get sock yarn, obviously fiber or yarn from places that we visit, from people that are local. Now that isn't always possible, and I've just started, so I have a very limited supply, obviously, of sock yarn at this point. Here, I was able to get a few. There is Willy Wonka, who's from Los Alamos. We're in New Mexico right now. I was also able to get another fiber, which I mentioned in a previous video, and I don't remember the person's name. It was from a shop in Taos. And I think that's all locally. But if I can't find local yarn, so that's one way. It's going to be local yarn, and we have to actually stay in a place at least overnight, if not longer, because we have traveled through states. We've just basically, you know, parked somewhere and then kept moving through the state to a new state. I'm not going to count those. But if we're in a state for at least overnight, and maybe get to, you know, shop or look around, then I'm going to hopefully get some yarn from that location. And obviously places we stay for longer term. Then that's the first thing. The second way that I'm going to try to accumulate yarn is, some of you, I don't know if all of you, but know that I'm starting to drop spin, and I'm very new, and I'm not really at the point where I'm making yarn yet that I think is usable, but I'm hoping that will be will happen eventually. And so what I've been starting to do is get some fiber, the same way, local fiber, if I can, from local vendors, local artists, and so I've been able to get a little bit of that, and I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to spin up enough to make a square, which I think I will, because, you know, I'm getting there, and I think I could at least do enough to do maybe a 1-ply amount to do a tiny square. So that's the second way. And then the third way is I've been knitting socks. I'm trying to have a pair of socks going at all times. So, and obviously there's always leftover sock yarn. So I'm hoping to do a square from the leftover sock yarn and keep track of where that sock was knitted. So I do have at least 2 so far here. And I think we may have to stop a minute. I'm going to pause this for a minute because there may be some barking. Back, though it probably wasn't much of a time for you guys. It was quite a bit for me because it was crazy out here, dogs barking, and so I had to wait a little while to start again. And I hope there's some continuity between the clips. So I was talking about my memory blanket, and so I think I kind of went over where the yarn was going to come from. Wherever I finish a pair of socks, I'm going to keep track, and then I'll be able to know about, I'll be able to do that. Sorry, I'm a little distracted again. I apologize. Okay, maybe I can get back into the swing here. So I'm going to show you the 2 squares that I've done so far. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen these already. So this is the first one. And this was done with yarn from this place called Willy Wonka. And they're from Los Alamos, New Mexico, so it is a local. And then this was just an experiment. These were left from socks that I knit for my husband. They were his Father's Day socks, which were started in New York and finished in South Dakota. And I was just playing around again. I wanted to see needle size or hook size, and so those are the two. I did finally decide I'm going to do, I think, the 3.25 millimeter hook. I liked the way that square came out. So, and right now I kind of picked, this is Woolite in the ivory for the border around each, but I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I think that's what I'm going to go with. And this is my little bag of sock yarn so far, which is obviously not that much. So that's my memory blanket. And I'll keep you posted. This is a plop, let's see, permanently long-term ongoing project. That's a Tilly Trout phrase, which I've mentioned before. And obviously this is going to, you know, be a while ongoing, as we just said. So that's my memory blanket. Now, on to FOs. I have one FO, and you've, again, on Instagram, I did post these. They're my socks, finally, from my first sock yarn, mystery sock yarn, personal sock club for this year. And this is, I hope you can see this. I'm not sure how the light is. You know, it's hard for me to tell because it's a little glary over here. So these are the Bleather socks. I used the Bleather pattern by Emily from Fibertown. It's a great pattern. It was like very easy, but lots of fun, kept a little bit of interest. And I used the Wool-Free yarn, Premier's Wool-Free yarn in the Grand Canyon colorway. And these were knit on ones. I always use 1 millimeter. That's my go-to sock with Magic Loop. And I love them. I've worn them. I think they need to be washed actually, but I wanted to show you. It's an interesting heel. I don't know if I mentioned this the last time. I'm gonna go back to my Afterthought heel. I just like those better, but it was interesting and it wasn't a hard heel. I just like the idea of being able to kind of keep knitting, put in your waste yarn, then you keep going and get to the toe. It seems like it goes faster. So they're done. Yay! I was happy and I love them. Okay, so that's my only finished objects for this week because as I mentioned last time, I did start the baby blankets. The yarn finally came. I showed you that. At that point, I don't think I had picked which one for Charlotte, the little girl, little baby girl. There was between the Persimmon and the Passion. I let my friend basically make the decision since obviously she's the one who's going to give the blankets as a gift. And she decided she wanted to go with the Passion, and I have to say I'm really glad that she did because I wasn't sure at first about that yarn. It was a little bright, I thought. So, but the Persimmon she felt was a little more pastel-y and closer to a traditional baby color, and we really kind of didn't want to do that. And of course with the with Spencer's, the boy, it was the Pagoda, and that's a very deep kind of bluish green color. So I'm going to show you that, and I have it right now in my little bag that I got from the thrift store from Goodwill. It's small enough right now. As it gets bigger, I probably will have to transfer it, but just to carry it around, I put it in here, whereas I have another bag with all the yarn in it that I keep at home. So here it is, and I'm hoping that you can see it because it actually is starting to look like something. Let's see, this is the right direction. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the C, the beginning of the letter C, because it's that ABC. I'll show you a picture of the pattern. And this is the duck, the beginning of the duck. Can you see that? I hope so. I'll hold it back here too, just in case that's a better view. And then the end is like a block. It's called and it's like just a geometric shape. So that's how far I've gotten, and I love the color. It's much deeper now that I'm working with it. It's still very cheery and bright, but it's not as bright as I thought. And I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's very soft. It's Caron Simply Soft. And I'm doing that on, these are my needles that I got from China on eBay, real cheap, and they're size 6, US 6. So that's my blanket, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the pattern. Somebody mentioned, because it's charts, it is charted, and I'll show you the pattern. It's the ABC blanket. It's not it's a free pattern from Knit Picks, and so you can go on Knit Picks website, or you can get it from Ravelry. As I always say, I try to be real good about posting projects in my Ravelry page. So, and the link for the pattern would be in there. So that's kind of, that's the pattern. And this is the chart for the first row that I'm working on. And you can see sort of this is how they show you. Can you see that? I don't know. It's hard for me to tell it. I can't really tell. Sorry. Okay. So you see how they have the charts along the bottom. So this is the charts along the first, and you're doing it from the bottom to the up, and you go from right to left, and it's charted, and it's a very easy chart because it's all just knits and purls. So each block represents either a knit stitch or a purl stitch, depending on the direction. There's a little key, which isn't on here, but it's on the pattern, so very easy. I have it on a magnetic board, and then I just put magnetic tape. I'll take this off because I know where I am. I just put magnetic tape on the back of a ruler, so I can follow along where I am on the pattern. The pattern is really good. I don't have too many complaints. It's a very easy pattern. It's easy to understand. It's a pretty quick knit because you do the pattern stitches across one row, and then it's stockinette, so that you purl back pretty much most of the row back. There's garter stitch in between each blocks, but very easy to follow, easy to understand. The one criticism I will have of this pattern is the way the PDF has the charts. Okay, so the way the charts are, you see you have the C chart, then you have a duck chart, and then you have the bottom block chart. And then up here is the sailboat, B, star, block, top block, heart, and A. Okay? So that you have to work them in that order. So you're doing the C chart, then you do the duck chart, and then you do a line from the bottom block chart, and you're working your way up row by row. But they don't have the patterns, the charts rather, are not on the page in that order. And I will show you an example. This is the B chart. Okay, so I hope it looks okay. So this is the B chart. We've got the letter B and the star, which is fine, but then the sailboat is on another page, so you have to cut it out, and that's what I did. So I had to cut it out and put it here. But the star is on the end, and the B is on the middle, and then the sailboat is the first one you come to. So you would have to, in order to do it that way, I have to cut them all out because the sailboat needs to be first. So I have to do that, and then the B, and then the star. So I just wish they had put them in the right order on the pages. A little easier to work with, but you know, not such a problem. Like I said, I cut them out and I fixed them so that they're in the right order for me to keep track. So that's that, and I've been enjoying it. Right now I'm going to keep working on the one until I get kind of bored, and if I feel like I want to switch it up and start the second one, I will. Maybe just end up finishing the whole first one and then go to the second. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be working on until they're done, because I want to get them out as soon as possible. So that's my finished objects. And okay. So I'm so easily influenced by people, by you guys out there, because many of you, in addition to knitting and crocheting and maybe spinning, you do cross stitch, and you show your cross stitch. And I like to look at it, and of course it's another craft, and I just do a little bit of sewing, hand sewing. I don't have a machine, and I enjoy that. I haven't done cross stitch. I have, however, done needlepoint, and I've done needlepoint for many, many years. And I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to talk a little bit about this needlepoint and cross stitch. Okay, I'm going to show you needlepoint. Since I was a kid, but they're usually long-term projects, and you know, sometimes they've taken me like 20 years to do. So just so you know, it's very, very, very long term. But this is a current one that I have, and I've been working on this for a while now, a number of years, and I only work on it a little bit. I do tend to work on it more in the summers and the warmer months because, you know, it's just a better thing. But that's what, you know, this is what it looks like. It's a canvas. And then, oh, sorry, I gotta close something on my phone. Okay. And this is what I've gotten done so far. Okay, so that's my needlepoint, and I love needlepoint because it's sort of like paint by number. There's no charts to follow. You just basically know the color, and you do your stitching on that particular color, and it's pretty easy. Sometimes lights, you know, you need a little bit of better lighting, but for those of us whose eyes are not as good as they used to be, this isn't too bad because you don't, you know, it's right there. Well, cross stitch is kind of similar, right? Because you're doing the same kind of stitching. However, you're working on a blank canvas and you're following a chart. And so that to me was not too appealing. However, watching everybody's things, somehow I ended up on this blog. It's called Cross Stitch Review, and I did post this on Instagram because it popped up and it was just something I felt like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. And if I ever did count and cross stitch, it might be something I want to do. It's an advent calendar, and it started in March of last year, and she's been posting one day a month since then, and this is the one I happened to come across. And like I said, if you follow me, I wonder if I have a picture. Yes, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen that. Oh my God, is that not too adorable? Look at that. That is so cute. And I thought if I ever did cross stitch, I'd want to do that. But I'm not going to do cross stitch because I don't want to do cross stitch. But I kept coming back to it, and I kept looking at it, and it's so cute. And it's a sheep knitting, for goodness sakes. I mean, what's better? What's cuter than that? So I printed out, as you can see, I printed out the pattern. And I went to Michael's and Joann's because, you know, I had coupons. And I got the supplies for it. I got them pretty cheap, so I didn't really invest a lot of money. Got the thread that it calls for. Here it is. I got a hoop, but this one is actually a little bit big for the fabric that I got, and I'm not sure about that because the fabric I got was, it's Aida, and it was real cheap. It was the loops and threads, but it's small, and it doesn't fit in this frame, so I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I'm going to do this. I don't know. But then I'm at Joann's, and I saw this other one, and it was so cute, and I saw this, and I immediately thought of my friend, my husband's cousin, who we've been visiting with here, and I just said and it was very cheap, and I had a really good coupon, so I got it for like free practically. And this is it. So I don't know if you can see that it says born to shop, forced to work. Okay, so that it was like I have to try to do this. So I did. I started. Oh my God, can you believe this? I wasn't gonna do this, and I'm still not sure I'm gonna do this because it's hard. So I got this much done, which it looks okay, but it's hard finding the little squares and counting, and I don't know, really don't have a lot of experience for this, so I don't know if there's tricks for that. You know, I found the center. Sorry, I keep putting that in front of the camera. I found the center, and I did the counting, but I'm trying, you know, I don't know. I may keep working on it. If you guys have any hints about the best way to do this, maybe little tricks that you've learned, if there's some videos out there that you could recommend, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I just had to share that with you because I'm such a sucker. I just see these stuff and I'm like, I want to try that, even though I swore I'd never do count and cross stitch. And I'm still not sold on it because it's not relaxing. And I usually use my needlepoint as something to relax, be more relaxing. For you have to, you know, sometimes you do get a little burned out if you're knitting for a long time or crocheting, and just to kind of switch it up a little. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. Keep you posted. All right, almost done. I know I'm talking a while again. So, last thing that I'm going to do, or well, two things I'll talk real quick. But just wanted to talk really quick about what I've been reading, because as you know, reading is my second favorite thing, and I've been doing audiobooks, so I get to combine those two favorite things, so I can listen to books while I'm knitting or crocheting or crafting. And I'm right now in the middle, or I just started, I shouldn't say in the middle, of listening to a book called Cinder by Marissa Myers. And if you're into sort of YA young adult fiction, it's a little bit cyber, steampunk, dystopian, sci-fi. It's a retelling of Cinderella. Cinderella's a cyborg, and she's a mechanic for cyborgs. So far, that's sort of where I am right now. She just met the prince at the market or something. So it's very interesting, and I'll keep you posted. So that's my audiobook of the month. And I'm reading a book called Half a Yellow Sun because I do like to read a book too, because at night I can't listen to my book, you know, my audiobook right before bed, because you know, you fall asleep and then I forget where I was and don't remember what I listened to last. So I stopped doing that, but I do like to have something to read right before I go to bed, and it's usually like I get through maybe, you know, a few pages at a time. But I'm on a Goodreads group that's trying to read more diverse authors, and it's called the Continent Readathon, I think, or Read Along. And so every other month they're going to, the moderator is picking a continent, and then you're supposed to try to pick a book about that continent by an author of that continent, etc. February's continent was Africa, so I'm reading a book called Half a Yellow Sun. I can't pronounce the author's name. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let's see, sorry, it's by, yeah, I can't get her name. I'll try to put it in the description box if I can. Chimamanda. Oh, I can't pronounce the last name. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. So anyway, it's Half a Yellow Sun. It's very interesting. It's a little slow. So those are the two things I'm reading. Okay. So last but not least, I have to get to open a new box because I finished my socks. So I'm going to see what's inside. And you're going to see it with me for the first time because, obviously, I haven't opened the box yet. Okay, so here we go, guys. Let's see what is going to be my new socks. Ooh, oh, okay. All right. So, it is the Heart and Soul in the Blackjack colorway by Red Heart. And I'm going to be using this for the Knickknits and Bakery Bears socks, Spring into Sock knit along. Okay, so that's it. I'm excited. I haven't tried this yarn before either. A lot of the yarns I have in here are new for me. My dog's barking because there's another dog out there in the dog park. So I'm going to go before it gets really loud here. And I hope you guys have a great week and happy crafting. Bye.